What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Tide Talk. It is Monday, September 29th, and we are here to talk about Friday night's 2-2 draw against El Paso Locomotive. Just a reminder that each episode of Tide Talk is available on YouTube, and if you're watching now, please take a second to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up button as it helps YouTube show Tide Talk to more people. You can also find us on your favorite podcast applications like Spotify and Apple Podcast. And if you're listening there, we'd really appreciate it if you left us a 5-star rating and a short review, as it helps more people find our podcast. One last plug, if you're not already using the RIFC Club Collector app, sign up and enter code TIDETALK25, all one word, to get an exclusive pack to add to your collection. So everybody, let's cozy up. Let's crack a beer. And let's dive into this one. I'm Ryan, and I will be your host tonight, and I'm joined by Mr. Player Ratings himself, Timmy Sclafani. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, not much. How's it going? My body clock, once again, very confused. Not only with the game being Friday, but with it now being Monday night and we're doing the pod is like double or triple confusion.
There was like 4 words in the beginning of that intro that I had absolutely no clue what to do with. It was Friday night, Monday, goals. I was very lost in there.
I was actually listening very intently for you to mess one up, and I'm pretty impressed that you had them all.
I did a little practice run. It was good. But yeah, I mean, the league's really throwing us off here. 2 Friday nights in a row. We got a Sunday night upcoming this week, so we will persevere. But it has been tough sledding for us.
I think when you add that in with 2 consecutive games on the road, which I don't know the last time that we've had, it's like really feels like the season should be over. And I mean, we've only got 4 games left, but like body is just very out of the routine of Saturday soccer games.
Yeah, I've been talking to my wife about this. Like, I genuinely don't understand how we started the year with like 7 road games, and then we are like ending the year with like all these road games. It's like, why are we fitting everything into the summer in Rhode Island when like the fall in Rhode Island is beautiful as well? Would love some extra matches now.
Yeah, couldn't figure that out. I was thinking the same thing today when I was looking at the run in to the playoffs. Makes absolutely no sense, but we'll persevere.
We will. Yeah, so leading up into this one, I don't know that there were like a ton of storylines. Obviously team performances has been up and down. We had that last Friday night match against Miami, which was not much of a match. I think it was the lowest watched Tide Talk episode of the year, and I don't blame any of you for that. So I don't think there was a lot coming into this. I think really the big storyline was, RAFC staying above the playoff line. They were in 8th place going into this one, a point or 2 above Indy. And can they hold on and can they stick through that? So we'll get more into the playoffs with Mr. Playoff Calculator himself on this week, but we'll head right into the lineup here. Sorry, I'm clicking stuff. We did have, I gotta say, the lineup graphics have been very good, especially as of late. So shout out to whoever at RFC is pulling those together. But we had Koke Vegas, your captain, back in goal. We had Hugo Bacharach, JJ Williams, Noah Fuson, Clay Holstad, Frank Nadarce, Jose Quazera, Joe Brito, Zachary Harival, Mark Ibarra, and Karufa Yao in that starting 11. I was not going to try to do the thing where I put this in order tonight, and I hope you all will bear with me there. But any surprises there from you, Timmy?
So I mean, when the lineup graphic came out, I think the only piece that was like surprising to me was maybe Brito getting his 3rd start in a row. I think that was unfortunately explained when we got the availability report maybe 5 minutes after, which showed us that Maxi, Atkinson, and Amos, or Amos and Maxi still on the injury report. Atkinson, a new addition to the injury report. We still don't know what the story is there. So I guess after I saw that, kind of explained Brito continuing to start in that like right-sided forward position. Although, and I'm trying to take hindsight out of this, I'm thinking like I wouldn't personally maybe mind Dikwa starting there going forward. I think that gives us like a little more firepower in the attack. And again, I'm trying to take hindsight out of this because you're asking, how did I feel when the lineup came out?
Yeah, you gotta, be a professional here, Timmy.
So yeah, I think. And then the other big mystery is Mabika. Just he's vanished off the face of the earth. He's not on the injury report. He's
Well,
not
he
on the
is.
team sheet.
Well, we do know what he's doing. He's working the phone banks. He's calling season ticket holders. He's getting people excited about the end of this season and next season. So we do know what he's up to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that our tallest player on the team is calling season ticket holders and not defending the goal. It'd be a real shame if we like conceded on a set piece in this game against El Paso or something like that, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if height would have helped in this one, but we will definitely get to that one. And I will say we were really wondering what the hell was going on with Maxi, and we did learn this week from his own social media post that Maxi got absolutely truck stick in practice. Looked like they were practicing corners, which I was very excited to see. The corners have gotten a bit better the past few weeks, so not surprised there. But there's a lot of like who done it going on, and it looked pretty clear that Hugo was the the main suspect, as someone called him in this one.
Can we? I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this because I a fair share of people I think made comments like on Discord and maybe elsewhere asking if it was like kind of weird that Maxi posted this, and I just wanted to say, or I think I did say it, like I didn't find anything strange about it at all, and I think it's maybe the fact that like I think the caption to it was like I forget exactly what he said. I meant to check, but I think he was like, there's been some good, some bad. And he was referring to like the month of September. And I think the implication is the bad was him getting hurt. It was like the injury. So he's missed some games, which I don't think he doesn't strike me as a player who likes to miss games. But like, I took him posting the video of him getting like absolutely knocked out by Hugo as like having a laugh about it. And he's kind of like in good spirits, even though he's bummed to be injured. But I didn't feel like everyone else maybe took it that way. And I can't tell if it's like, I know there's a lot of like mixed opinions about Maxi, and I don't know if that's like shaded people's opinions even on his like personality and him posting that. But I was just curious, like if you thought anything strange. I did not think twice about it when I saw it. I just chuckled and moved on.
Likewise, I thought it was very funny. I'll take injury news wherever I can get it, and I was genuinely like wondering like where the hell is Maxi? Didn't like there was zero coverage of it, so him breaking that was really kind of him. So thanks, Maxi, for being a big J journalist on that. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was funny. I again I don't take much seriously in that regard. So yeah, him posting that was totally fine by me. And yeah, again, maybe there's some narrative around him, but to your point, he's definitely not a guy who's like excited to miss games. He's like if anything, he's a gamer, and I don't think you can question that at this point. So yeah, I thought the discourse around that was pretty strange because I thought it was just a lighthearted joke from a guy who got knocked out pretty tough in practice.
Yeah, like anecdotal evidence. Like when I suffered the facial injury, I was also seeking out video. Like I was also like, I want to find the video of that guy taking me out. Like I'm going to post it myself. Like I just took it very similarly as like, wow, it's kind of hilarious that my boy Hugo in this case like absolutely rocked me. Like presumably gave him a concussion. Like
yeah, I think we were told the official the official word on the street was that it's an upper body injury, which is like very hockey terms, but it did look
hockey terms for a concussion.
Yeah, and if you do want to see this video that we're talking about, it's on Maxi Rodriguez's Instagram. Just yeah, it's in a carousel. It was that was the other weird part. It was like in a carousel, so I was like, clearly this is like a funny joke as part of a thing. So yeah, again, I don't. There's like really not much to talk about here, but we will move into the match here to keep us trucking. And to me, I thought the really interesting first bit of this was how when we started, there's only one announcer, which I've never seen before. It really gave me some RIFC Nation flashbacks to episodes, 1 through whatever 9 that Matt did by himself in the room there. But yeah, what'd you take about this single announcer? I was kind of like, good for you, man, for trying this out.
I just thought, well, a couple things. Like one, generally, I thought this was actually one of the worst broadcasts, like production quality broadcasts for the USL that I've heard and seen. Like actually, and yes, the stadium was empty, but there was definitely some ambient noise there. But I don't think like the field mics were either incredibly low or they weren't placed correctly. I had my TV cranked, and when the game started and when the commentator wasn't speaking, I was like, is the audio working? It was dead silent when that guy wasn't talking. Very like awkward viewing experience.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, the baseball
he was-
stadiums do not do well with broadcasts for a soccer game.
It's just like it. I just feel like it reflects so poorly on the league. Like for different reasons. I was saying to you guys today, like last season, I feel like I had such an easy time hyping up this league and talking it up to people who like maybe weren't aware about it, just like neutral soccer fans. And this year I've had such a harder time doing that. And it's things like that broadcast in the El Paso game, which like empty stands, dead silent, single commentator who he did fine. I don't know the politically correct way to say this, but we were all kind of laughing about like he was putting a little twang on a lot of the last names in like a kind of curious way. But yeah,
Jeez.
it was
this everyone. This is why the player ratings are what they are. Like this is the man behind them right there.
You thought he was good?
I honestly, I think I watched most of the game on mute, so I don't have like a strong opinion on it. I just thought it was funny. The one part I did hear was that I liked was they interviewed the I don't know if it was technical director or general manager. I don't know what they were calling him, but I actually thought that was like a really fun part because he seemed to know his shit.
They should do that during one of our home games.
If they can pull that off, it'd be very fascinating. Actually, I mean, they could have the game that Kano was. He had the red card. He could have just been in the booth with Tommy Quinlan just chopping it up the whole time.
Yeah, why not? I think this guy was also butchering. He was butchering calls. He was mixing. He was calling Haribo Fuson and vice versa, which I do as well, but I'm not being paid to do it. So
that's for damn sure. But we'll get this one started. And I actually thought we have a lot of videos in this one. We took that extra day to really cook some stuff up in the lab here. I'm definitely going to misplay some of them, so please be kind. But this first one is actually from the kickoff. I thought this was really interesting. We did a little bit of a new play here.
These, we'll see for how long. We're not exactly sure how long that's going to go, but we are underway from Southwest University Park as Rhode Island FC finalists.
So shout out to Joe Brito for being the guy who gets to do the keepy uppy and just boot it. We talked a lot about kickoffs weirdly on this show with what we call the PSG kickoff. And what that is when someone boots the ball basically from the center circle out to like either one of the touch lines for a really deep throw in for the other team. This is made popular by, you'll guess, Paris Saint-Germain. Basically, Rhode Island FC has been doing that a lot this year. For those of you who were not able to watch, Rhode Island FC basically kicked it back to Brito. He like kind of did one of those keepy uppies and then booted it really high in the air, almost like a NFL punt. Again, just weird, interesting. Just it shows that we're trying new stuff, and I will take that all day.
Stop doing that. We're not good enough to be doing cute. We're not good enough to be giving away possession by choice and doing cute kickoff things. Like I didn't like the PSG kick, but at least gives us a little time to get downfield. This one, I feel like we literally just handed over possession and started as if we didn't have the kickoff. Like I think someone said Bournemouth does this one. I think I saw that.
Really? Okay.
I think so, but yeah, I really don't care for it. And then my bigger issue is like we don't press very aggressively on the ball in that position. So like if the goal is to turn the ball over in the like attacking third or their half of the pitch, like we don't press in a way that makes that happen. So truthfully, why are we doing that?
I'll have to look into this more with Bournemouth, how they do it. I'm assuming the ball was supposed to go higher so that like it almost like a punt team could get down there, similar to football.
I think you're right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought it was weird and interesting, but we do see action gets really kicked off quickly in this one with a second minute kind of buckle up, folks moment.
It's a long one, but straight to Jamali Waite and the quick outlet up the middle to Sorto. He's on. Christian Sorto on the breakaway has to pull up. Good cover and decides to roll one. That's a shot on target, but it's easy enough.
So a couple of things on this. Ahead of that, where that all came from was J.J. Williams was taking a long throw in into the box. Couldn't hate that more. Really don't understand that. It goes back to the whole gaggle of tall dudes. He's one of them, so he should be in the box on a long throw in into the box. Because Clay kind of has the being the guy to throw the ball in long locked up at this point for me. And then, I don't think I've seen someone really like the minute the offensive player touched the ball, he slowed down like half speed. Like he couldn't have made less of that opportunity that he had.
Well, I would argue later in this game, one of our players had a very similar chance and slowed down very much the same way on a breakaway chance, but we'll wait for the second half. But I mean, agree with you. JJ taking the throws in the attacking third is insane. It happens again. It happens again later in the game. It seems like we're not having Clay take the left-sided long throws anymore for whatever reason. I guess so he doesn't get pulled out of position, but that's annoying because we saw in some previous games some of Clay's best moments would come after he would take a throw on the left side and he would actually be closer to the midfield.
We'll get there, don't you worry.
Yeah, had a feeling, but I thought Sorto is the player. I thought he did horribly here. It reminds me of something our players have done a lot this season, which is they're dead in the center of the pitch and they take a huge touch wide of the goal and just have nowhere to go after that. Like we've played ourselves out of so many chances with that exact same touch.
Well, the weirdest part too is I couldn't. It was like kind of like he gave up on the whole thing and just was like, "Well, screw it, I'll just shoot from here." Because it was a very like half-hearted chance. Like he didn't put his like all into that. And at that point, Quezera and Clay were back. So yeah, not a great moment for El Paso, but definitely got your attention early in this one. And as Ewan in the chat says, it was a heck of a throw by the keeper. Absolutely here. So we did see a lot of control early, I think, for Rhode Island FC, which I loved. Especially being on the road, you want to I know the atmosphere wasn't crazy, but quiet the crowd down. I thought we did a really interesting thing with our press in this one, which we will talk about a bit more, but we weren't pressing the keeper a lot. We were kind of waiting for one of the center backs or fullbacks to get it, and then we would operate the press. I thought that was an interesting tweak, and I think we find out why this happened pretty quickly into this one. 24 minutes in, we almost see actually in the press, the keeper has the ball. He tries to pass it into the midfield. Haraval was right on that guy on the 6 and almost gets him. They get out of there, but definitely a very, I think we'll talk a bit about more that exact situation very quickly, but anything to say about the altered press in this one?
Not really, other than like, you might have it. I'll just admit if I don't know ball, but like I just still can't figure out like at all what our pressing triggers are. Like you seem to think much more highly of it than I did when I was watching back this game. Like I just cannot figure out when one guy chooses to press, when the team chooses to press, other than I'm so pissed that you caught it too. I also noticed Haravel almost makes that same turnover at the 24 and a half minutes. You're such a fuck. I was so ready to call that out. But
I need a rewatch tonight. I'm all ready to go. I got detailed notes.
But yeah, like, do you know what I mean though? Like they're so content to sit back, and then there will be random, and I would love to know like what the trigger is, but
yeah, I mean in this one it seemed like it was the center backs or the fullbacks, and the team would kind of shift there. It definitely was not the keeper. They were like, you can have the ball all you want, and we see why in the 24th minute. So I'm going to be very honest with you all. This clip sucks because they were in a highlight, like they were showing highlights while this goal happened. So this is all you get from the USL, and here it is.
Just missed time. Jamali Waite, simple pass up, but Coronado stepping to him is Zachary Harivo, and the Massachusetts native gives Rhode Island the lead. So
I believe it's great work by Haraval. We have no idea what led up to this, but seemed like the kind of carbon copy of what we just saw, where their goalkeeper Hamid, I believe, tried to pass it to the deepest lying center midfielder, and Haraval was right on top of him, gets the ball, passes it right into the back of the net. We've seen Haraval. He's someone who we talked about a few episodes ago, like someone who I think has gone under the radar in terms of being out for long parts of the season. He was someone who really made what we called the adult midfield last year, so prominent and so successful. He also had a goal literally against Tampa at Burn last year, where he pressed the keeper and scored there. So not out of the ordinary for Haraval there. I think his legs and his ability to really cover a ton of ground is a massive advantage that he has, and uses it really well to put Rhode Island in the lead there, Timmy.
Yeah, and just like we already said, like clearly, like I don't think that this is a team tactics thing. I assume Harivo recognized something earlier in the game that pass was going to be there for the taking, and then he recreated it for the goal. But yeah, I think even outside of his pressing, like it really stood out to me, especially in this game more so than others, like how quickly he turns and will spring an attack, as opposed to, it's nothing personal against Ibarra, but just as the other player in that double pivot, like it just moves a lot quicker through Haribo when we use him as the outlet from either from Koke or the center backs. Like he really turns, a lot of times puts it out to the wing. Like there are a few like automations almost that it seems like we'll do, and they seem so much more consistent, and they happen faster, and the ball gets up the field, I think, a lot quicker when it starts with Haribo.
Absolutely there. So we do see after the goal, they do start to dominate for a period. I don't think we covered ourselves in glory for the next 15 minutes or so. It was a lot of the ball in our half, a lot of like kind of cheap falls that I think we just never really settled into here. And unfortunately, we do see Clay Holstad pick up his customary yellow card and gives them a set piece, which we will look at here.
24, 25 games, that this might be enough for them.
Swung in, that'll come to the head and in for the goal. It's Memo Diaz. Memo Diaz.
A little backflip action, Memo Diaz.
How about that? With the head against the trees of Rhode Island. Out leaps everybody at the edge of the 6 to equalize in the 44th minute.
If that doesn't get us going, I don't know what will. That's an unbelievable header from a guy that's not, some big boys in the back line, and he is not one of them. So it's that's an unbelievable header.
So I think the most devastating part of this is I learned that El Paso has a train horn. That made me very nervous after that part. I thought, we were really the kings of the train horn. But yeah, obviously a very bad look on this one. A guy who might be somewhere between me and Kevin in terms of height. You also don't want the guy who can just do a backflip to be able to get a header. Like it seems like usually that's a short king kind of thing. So yeah, to me, what do you take? What do you take away from this one, where the short king rises up over Frank to put El Paso at 1-1 with us?
Yeah, I mean, so I've gone back and forth watching this goal, and I'm just gonna shoot a shot right here. I think it's 100% Frank.
Who else could it be?
Oh, I saw some people throwing Hugo's name in there, but like Hugo, yeah, it has literally nothing to do with Hugo. He almost makes a great recovery and does get his head to it because he's huge. Has nothing to do with Hugo. It's 100% Frank. He falls asleep marking his guy, and then just gets absolutely dunked on, like you said, by like a 5'5" guy. Who do you think on our team would be most likely to do a backflip?
Wow. Wow. I'm going to go with Busy.
Probably right. But I just, even when I saw that, I was like, can we get a guy who can do a backflip? Like I want someone with like some sauce, a little bit of sauce. I don't think we have a lot of sauce.
Your postseason blog is going to start with like, I want that. And then we'll get into like the goal scoring, chance creation, all that stuff. That's problem number 1 on the team right now, recruitment wise.
Might not even get into chance creation.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take like a right back or a right wing back, but okay. Okay, yeah, Timmy, I like the intangibles here. We know Connell, he likes to scout for not just the player on the pitch, but the total package. So, hey, something to look out for, folks.
Yeah.
Wow, you're keeping me on my toes tonight, I'll tell you that much. But we now move into halftime with the score at 1-1. We have a 29th minute goal from Haribo with the 44th minute equalizer from Diaz. We did see possession lean towards El Paso, and they are one of the only teams in the league that are kind of up there with us in possession at 62%. Shots were almost even at 5-4. They had 2 big chances to our 1. 89% passing accuracy for them, 80 to us. 9 fouls for El Paso. We were at 12, and each had 1 corner apiece. Timmy, anything big to take away from the first half for you?
Watching it live, I thought we were pretty bad. When I watched it back, I didn't think we were that bad. I thought we were okay. I actually thought defensively we were giving up a pretty good amount of chances over the top, and a lot of it, surprisingly, I thought was actually coming down the left for El Paso and coming at Hugo. Like I thought a lot of balls were getting over Hugo's head or past him. But after Hugo gets the yellow, which was in the 39th minute, they switched him and Frank. And it actually, I thought, made us a lot more defensively sound and almost immediately unlocked Hugo to start making some of his runs through the midfield, which he didn't do for the entire first half. So I don't know exactly why that is, because from what we've been told and seen, both Frank and Hugo are comfortable playing on either side. But I thought Hugo was really struggling on the right in possession and defensively, and it seemed to be fixed after they switched, which was curious.
Yeah, he's a peacock. You just gotta let him fly. But I totally agree, because I've also been pounding the drum that I would love to actually see Hugo at like right back and let him just go kind of nuts from there. So yeah, definitely not a good call for me there. But before we start the second half here, we have a lot of comments on this backflip question. We got a couple Aldairs. We got a couple Clay, because he can do anything. We do have Grant Stoneman. Imagine a Mabika doing a backflip, which would be wild. We got a Quizera shout. So yeah, a lot of different takes in here. I didn't realize this might be the hot topic of the night. So folks, if you're listening, tweet at us, hit us up on the Instagram post, DM us, like let us know who your backflip king of Rhode Island FC is. This is you never know where the show's going to go, Timmy. You never know.
Yeah, super quick. I see Sarah asked about yellow card accumulation as well.
Yeah, I was going to skip that because I have no idea.
I have Hugo at 4. I think he's received 5, but he got 1 subtracted for if you play 3 games in a row without picking one up, you lose 1. So I have Hugo at 4 on accumulation, if my tracking is correct. And I have JJ at 5. He's the closest to the 8-game suspension. So that would be a real shitty thing to happen in the last 4 games of the season. So let's just hope not. But
okay, so we're looking pretty good there. Last year, I feel like this was a huge talking point. Like I feel like Clay was just flirting with it like the entire season.
He was. I also don't think the rules were printed last season. Like the USL actually put out the rules this year.
That's nice.
So yeah, Clay on 4. Ibarra actually just had 1 taken off this game, I think. So he's down to 3. So yeah, it's really JJ, Clay, and Hugo, I guess, who are kind of on watch.
Yeah, and this is what you get for being so helpful in the chat. You're getting called a nerd for having this on deck. So,
Thanks,
hey, you give and you take. But we start the second half, and dare I say, we looked a little bit more 2024 Rhode Island FC in this one. We start off in the 51st minute with Brito getting taken out by 2 to 3 guys on the break, which was kind of a wild moment. I don't know if any of them, maybe one of them got a yellow, but he got hit by at least 2 of them, if not a third. I think I saw a few shouts of, was that dog so, denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Any concern there for you?
Yes. First of all, this is the play I was referring to when I said we also had a, yeah, the wheels weren't exactly on here. The pass also could have been a little better to spring Brito, but, so I thought it was dog so initially, but I will explain why. And I was doing a little research today because I wanted to be educated. I didn't want Joe Burns to dunk on me in the chat.
He's still gonna.
Well, go ahead. I'm agreeing with him. I now don't believe I now understand why it's not. So the 4 criteria for denial of a goal scoring opportunity is distance from the net, which we were right outside the box. So I think we checked this one off. Yeah, check. Direction. He was running straight at the goal. Check. Control. Was he in control of the ball? I'm saying check. The issue is defenders. So basically how many, if any, defenders were between him and the goal. I thought the foul was called on Chumesi, who was the furthest guy back. So that's why, and the commentator says initially that the foul is on Chumesi. So that's why I thought if the foul was on the furthest guy back, then it was denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Turns out when he actually gives out the yellow card, it was on, I think Ruiz was the other center back. And I only know his name because I thought he should have got sent off for a second yellow shortly after this. The foul's on him, and Chumesi did such a good job getting back that he was actually somewhat also between Brito and the goal. So I now understand why it isn't denial of a goal scoring opportunity, but given the way the commentator called it, that's why I was outraged and believed that it was.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's the guy behind clips him, and he actually, I think, runs. I think he then hits Chumesi. Chumesi kind of gets like the second chop at him, and I don't know if a third person gets in, but yeah, it was not the closest. So I am total agreement there. I actually, like, even in real time, I wasn't like that up in arms about it, but I totally get why people would rewatching it because it was closer than I thought.
Yeah, they honestly, their center backs played it perfectly because Chumesi only focused on getting between Brito and the goal and not defending, and the other guy cleared him out. So they almost covered each other by playing it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if our center backs would have that level of composure to cover that situation.
By they're just taking strays for hypothetical. Jeez.
Do you remember the sequence last year where
this defense is not last year's defense?
You're right. I don't even need to bring it up.
We've grown.
Okay, you're right.
But I will say that this Brito foul extravaganza does lead to a free kick from JJ, which I think really starts to get us going here.
Clearly, JJ Williams is the man to take the free kick. On the restart, over the wall, off the post, off the crossbar. That one, nice little slice. Coque Vegas had to get down.
So I'll be very honest with everybody. I was not the most confident when I saw JJ step up there. Especially when it's that close, it's like almost harder to do, which you can tell by how little power JJ puts on it, but almost places it perfectly in the top corner there. What do you think of both JJ taking it and his attempt there?
Yeah, there's no one else. Like I wouldn't have felt great about anybody taking it for the reason you said. That's almost like, and I'm just going off what I know from playing FIFA. Like that's almost just too close to to get it over the wall, but tuck it under the bar. So I thought JJ took it pretty well. I would also just say, from the Brito chance, which was like late in the 51st minute, the next 10 minutes of this game was the most exciting 10 minutes of a game we've had all season. It was a crazy 10 minutes starting with that Brito chance. This was the second piece of an insane sequence, but like again, this is like kind of the sequences I'm thinking of when I say that USL is like an exciting, equal, fun league, and we have had zero sequences like this 10 minutes the entire season, nothing even close.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like I said, we were starting to look a bit more 2024 RIFC, and it gets like capitalized in the next few minutes here. So 55th minute, we do get a sub with Chico coming on for Brito. And then JJ and Noah started working a 1-2 game like Shaq and Kobe in there. And I was extremely excited about this. So first up in the 58th minute, we have a chance for Noah Fuson here.
Long out of the back. Memo Diaz lines it up. That'll bounce though. Fuson stepping through. Fuson give and go. All the way to the far post and out. My goodness gracious. Quality opportunity. Oh, beautiful ball from Williams. Tucks it by. And it does.
So I've seen a lot of people say this. This is not a unique tape. Is that the best play of the season?
Yes.
It was unbelievable.
Like if he not scored particularly
that, my in-laws were over the house. My top was going. It wouldn't have mattered.
It's at least for sure the best like link up or combining play that we've had. Like maybe like a distance strike you could say is like a better play, but like that's definitely the best two of our players have worked together to create a scoring chance. And again, like such like a nerdy question, but I was trying to figure out if that's like an automation or something that they've like been practicing, because you see a similar variation of that play happen several times where like someone coming in off the left plays it into like a midfielder, or in this case JJ, who hits like a bumper pass that goes into the box. And it felt like we were getting into the box at speed way more frequently in this game than we have all season, and it all seemed to come in like similar ways. So that in like a pretty much lost season, like that's all that I really care to see at this point is like, just show me that we're working on something to create more chances going forward and that like this isn't going to be an issue next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was probably starting at the age of roughly 10. I think we started doing give and goes into the box at some point. So I didn't really
Real
hope they
advanced
work on
stuff.
that. Yeah, again, I hope they are working on it because we've seen literally JJ and Noah do this together before. So yeah, I thought it was fantastic, and I think it's one of those ones where that 1-2 kind of quick flowing fluid attack we just haven't seen at all this season. I do think it's a harder, especially as a right-footed player, shot to kind of curl around, to kind of place properly. I mean, Noah gets it almost as perfect as he can. But were you worried at all? You're like, wow, that was the most beautiful thing I've seen all season. I don't know if we have it in us to do anything else to get over the line.
Yeah, because that's been the case all season. Like statistically, every time pretty much that we've hit the post in the past, we're not going to score after because we don't score. So yeah, of course I was worried about that. I was just thinking I give Noah a ton of credit for not pulling away and celebrating because I don't know if I was off the couch, but I was looking away. Thought it was in. I thought we had scored. Like I was done. And then I hear the commentator keep going and I was like, oh.
I mean, it's literally one of those ones, an inch differently, and it bounces into the post, bounces off the post and in. So it's really like almost inch perfect from Noah, which is tough. But speaking of chances and inch perfect from Noah, we do have a 60th minute chance here.
Looking for Williams out of the midfield on the left wing. Stepping in for the interception, there's Clay Holstad. Bouncing again now, Fuson, and it comes in the touch home. It's his second goal. J.J. Williams with his 4th of the season. Easy as you please, as Rhode Island able to tuck it in for goal number 2 here in the 61st minute. Ricky Reis having to be separated. Joshua Encarnacion giving him an escort, and Williams is down after scoring.
So a lot to break down in this goal from Rhode Island FC. First off, did you see who started this play, Timmy?
Yeah, it's crazy when Clay gets towards the middle of the field. Good stuff actually seems to happen. I know that's breaking news, but seems like that guy could play midfield or something almost.
Yep. So Clay has the perfect, he's kind of tucked in a little bit, which he was tucked in a bit more this game. I thought that was a really interesting kind of quirk to this one. I was trying to pull up his heat map, and there's a lot more like of him being in the center of the pitch, which hell yeah. So yeah, Clay tucks in. He nicks the ball off the midfielder. Harabal plays a really great ball to break Noah in behind, and then Noah crosses in with his left, inch perfect between the defender, the outstretched glove of the keeper, who I got the keeper's name wrong earlier. My bad about that. And then JJ slots it home. A couple weird things after that too. One, their defender was like sliding in behind JJ. I think gets contact with him. Easily could have been a foul there, at least a yellow. And then proceeds to, some would say shove, some would say punch, do something to JJ. JJ's obviously really making the most of it, but I thought it was a weird sequence where I don't think he even came away with a card.
He did not come away with a card, and that's what I was. So that's the same defender who gets the yellow in the denial of goals or the potential. So for both of those, first of all, he did not hit him in the dick. JJ acts like he did. He absolutely did not. He pushes him like in the gut, like stomach.
I thought he was grabbing more gut. I know we have some people in the chat discussing JJ's anatomy, but that is not what I did not think that as well.
Okay. I thought he was trying to sell that, but okay. Well, fair enough. Regardless, for sure should have been a second yellow for that defender, and it's not like his first yellow was a soft one either. Like that was a very borderline red yellow. So yeah, that was my big takeaway, is that guy should have been sent off.
Well, that's when I started realizing, like, oh, it's Joshua Encarnacion, our old friend.
Our buddy, our good buddy. Maybe if we weren't all yelling his government name at him like 3 weeks ago, or whenever that he last was. But,
Yeah, I would assume he didn't like that. So
yeah. Did you think? You love when I just lob questions at you when you're like trying to host and do your
it's
responsibilities.
keep me on my toes. I like it.
Do you think that the keeper should have gotten to this? Well, I don't really, but like he was really aggressive all game. Like that's what allowed him to grab both of JJ's throw-ins, which again is insane that happened. But I was I guess more like surprised that he didn't get to this because he was so quick off his line all game, and then this
Well,
was this one.
he went for it. Like he almost got it. Like this is literally like fingertip.
He might have got a little piece. I
Yeah,
couldn't quite
like
tell. He might have tipped it. But.
yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Like with how I think the keeper had, this was a really weird game for this keeper, but I think he had some really good moments and obviously a very bad one. But I think he's almost there in this one. It is literally like just like perfect pass and
very good.
Pass.
Nice tap in.
Yep. Which, hey, we've had almost 0 this season. So again, very much we'll take it. But next up on my notes here, I have in the 65th minute, there's a very funny moment where there's like a ball behind. Chico's chasing it down with the defender from El Paso. Their keeper picks it up. Chico kind of just like shoves the defender. The keeper comes over, bumps Chico, and Chico goes down like he got absolutely shot. He then gets himself a yellow card for that. But I got a real kick out of that.
Yeah, the refereeing is weird sometimes. Like you know how I feel like in Premier League all the time, someone does some annoying little shit, and then the ref only sees the retaliation, and the retaliator gets the yellow. For maybe it's better refereeing, but I feel like it's always the instigator gets the yellow, and then the retaliation gets nothing in this league. Like because on JJ's goal too, he was standing over that guy screaming in his face. Like I get why the guy got up and pushed JJ. And on this one, like I kind of felt like the retaliation was worse than what Dequa did, but either because he sold it or because he started it.
I think I think he gets the yellow for the shove on the defender. I actually think the yellow was just like it happened immediately, and then I'm sure the ref didn't appreciate the going down like that. But I don't want to get caught up too much on this. I just thought it was funny. 71st minute, we get Stoneman and Verherabau. Hugo then goes into midfield, which I thought was wild. Just again, every episode I have to just rant about how Clay Holstead should be in the midfield. I don't get how Frank doesn't go up to wing back and then Clay goes into midfield. Whatever, at this point, it's happening and I can do nothing about it. So we will move on. But I think this was a good cameo from Stoneman. He did have a few big tackles, 8 defensive contributions in his 28 minutes on the pitch. So nicely done there. But I am really just filibustering here because in the 73rd minute, El Paso ties it up with someone that we have come accustomed to seeing score for Rhode Island FC. This is not a Clay Holstead dig, I'm realizing. Yes.
It's very hard on this field to play against. Oh, wow.
That is over the top and
There it
in.
is, Duke.
It's an own goal. Look at you.
3-2.
3-2. Wow. Just a minute.
I'm not doing the replay there. I'm an Owen goal, the friend we've seen all season for Rhode Island FC scoring. But yeah, really tough moment there. I think after we scored, I don't think we were playing. They were definitely the ones on the front foot trying to chase this one down. But just a really awkward moment there where Clay he places it absolutely perfectly. That's like that would be hard if you told him to do it, and it just is such an awkward moment that goes perfectly into the back of the net. Yeah.
So this sucks because so the 2 goals we conceded, the first one is right before halftime, which is a momentum killer because whatever Kano's been thinking sent for the last 15 minutes about what he's going to say, what he's going to adjust at halftime goes out the window. Then we get a lead for a second time, and he just makes a defensive sub, so he takes off our best build-up midfielder who's pushing a lot of our attacks. He brings on an extra defender, and 3 and a half minutes later, then we need a goal. Like it was just such a bad time for this to happen is what makes it so much worse. Again, because we had just taken Haribo off. Like that takes so much of the chemistry between Quizera, Fuson, Haribo that they were having in build-up just down the tank. Now we don't have really a good way to score a goal again. we don't have any more attacking subs on the bench. So just situationally in this game when this happened,
wasn't Ndongo on the bench?
I didn't even see Ndongo's cameo, but the way you guys talk about it, I'm not trusting.
It was fine. It wasn't that bad. It just was a tough moment in the season for that.
Yeah. So just like this, when the second goal went in, I said we're either losing the game or we're drawing. We're not scoring another goal. Just situationally, because of when it happened and the subs we had already made, like it was such a killer time for it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point here, so 84th minute, we do get a couple more subs. So we get Aldair Sanchez on for Clay and Diop on for Nodarse. I thought this was wild too. Noah then moves to right wing back. Aldair's on left wing, and then Quizera moves up into like that right wing, right attacking midfielder area. Not much really to talk about there. Just again, kind of there's always some extra wrinkle in these subs. We talked a lot about that in the past, but honestly, from here, I thought it was a really entertaining, like back and forth game. Chico had a late chance to win it. He kind of had two shots where like he almost like could come across the goal. Didn't hit either. He also got very lucky not to get a second yellow card with 2 minutes left. He kind of comes in and like bumps a guy for I don't know why, but yeah, very interesting Chico cameo. But yeah, really entertaining back and forth. But in the end, not it is the 2-2 draw in El Paso. But yeah, to me, before we get to the stats, any kind of big takeaways here?
I thought Dequa's cameo was actually pretty good, and I know not everyone's going to agree with that. Like, well, yes, he did some really goofy extracurricular stuff, which I'm all on board with.
Sure.
Even though, yes, he probably did. He almost got sent off. But like, I thought his chances, he did about as well as he could have done. Like, I know people love to when a shot goes out for a throw in is always like that's like a milestone. Like, wow, that really sucked. But it was such a tight angle, and I actually thought he got a really like solid shot out of that one chance. He also and Matt Jean called it out in the chat as well. Right before the Clay own goal, Dequa also had a break down the left, and he hit a pretty good low cross. Unfortunately, it was just out of JJ's reach, but it was a good enough cameo for Dequa that like I said at the start when we were talking lineup, like for me, I would give him that right-sided forward to give him a chance to start there next game. I think the Brito experiment is just about played out for me.
Yeah, I mean, the tough one on that is I do like having something on the bench there that we feel like really you feel a little bit better about that you can really use to change the game. So I do understand if that is tactically why we're doing it, maybe why, but we'll see. We'll see how the health works out this week. We do have a extra day of rest than normal, or actually 2 extra days of rest than normal. So, but we will get over to the full-time stats here. If I can make this work. All right, so it does end 2-2 with goals from JJ Williams in the 61st minute and an own goal from Clay Holstead in the 74th. Boy, oh boy, was I excited to see this, Timmy. The XG for this one, 1.46 to El Paso to 2.6 for Rhode Island FC. Possession was a little more Rhode Island FC's way in the second half, 58% total for El Paso, 42% for Rhode Island. They had 16 shots to our 11. I can say one thing that I wrote down. It feels like every shot they took was on goal. Like or close. There was no shots that they took that were like wild. They were and we only I think had 2 shots on goal, but theirs were like all on goal. It was crazy.
Yeah, actually, and now that you mentioned that, we probably glossed over it more than we should have. Koke had a really good game. He made some strong saves.
Listen,
Player of the year contending saves, in my humble opinion.
To me, it's a standard Koke Vegas 2025 game, and I didn't even talk about it. I made a whole video about how good he's been all year. But yeah, I mean, dominations are over. I voted for Koke. I think I made that obvious towards the end of this, but yeah. Pass accuracy 84. Oh, actually, no, big chances. So they had 2. We had 3 in this game. I don't remember the last time we had 3 big chances in a match. Pass accuracy 84% for them, 77% for us. 20. Josh Encarnacion made sure this was a nice even 20-20 for each of us, and then for fouls, and then corners 4-3 in their favor. One last random note I had written down. Speaking of fouls and corners, I thought the amount of times a set piece or especially corners would happen, and he would blow it dead and for a foul on whoever the team was that was attacking the corner. It happened like 4 or 5 times. It was really strange.
Yeah. Another corners thought, since you mentioned it, is I think set pieces and corners have looked a lot more dangerous since Ibarra stopped taking them. I'm sorry to put it so bluntly, but am I wrong? Am I?
I don't want to comment on who, because I haven't thought about it that way. I also think we look like we're like attacking them differently in the box, and that's where I've been focused on.
That was a lot more diplomatic way of saying what I said. I'm sorry, Mark. Moving on from that, one other stat I wanted to mention.
Oh, I can't wait to see who else you drag through the fucking mud.
No, 26 touches in the opposition box for us compared to
camped out there.
It's
great. Yeah.
So there were a lot of games in like the middle third of this season where we were literally not even sometimes getting double digits touches in the opposition box, which, to be clear, that is horrifically bad. But 26 is quite good. Like I think a healthy game for us this season, we would be in like the mid 10s. So 26 is very good. And like this is the kind of chances we were talking about, where like those little give and goes into the box where we're hitting the box at speed. Like that's how you run these numbers up. And that's why our XG was 2.6 in this game. So love to see that.
Absolutely. So, Timmy, I have some surprise slides I told you I was going to hit you with. You've been hitting me with surprise questions all night. I got surprise slides here.
Oh, no.
All right. So I was pulling this together. So I saw that big 2.6 XG number, and I was getting all curious. I was like, that is a lot, like for us, especially this year. So I overlaid our expected goals differential. So this is the amount, the difference between the expected goals for and expected goals against for the year. And all of a sudden I saw this like little kind of touch up, and I was like, wait, this is looking a little bit closer to last year all of a sudden. So I then went and did rolling by 5-match average, and all of a sudden this is really starting to bend up to me. Okay, so we're almost touching that run. The only very annoying thing about this is there's I think 4 less games this year in the league, so this will never overlap perfectly. But we're honestly like this time of year, we were probably over here at the end of last season. But you can start to see this curve bending up here. All right,
that thing's going 6 to midnight. Look at that.
Beautifully for the podcast listener. That Timmy just described it perfectly, right? So in the last 5 league matches, Timmy, we are 3-1-1. We're averaging 2 points per game. We have an expected goal differential of 0.47, which is like right kind of where we were last year or so, maybe like a 10th of a point off. Only Louisville has had a better record in the last 5 matches of anyone in this league. Are we good, Timmy?
Well, hold on. Can you go back a slide?
You weren't prepared for the final one.
That question's too XG differential. Sorry, I think you said it, and I was probably reading a ridiculous comment in the chat. Can you explain XG differential?
Yes, it is expected goals for minus expected goals against.
Okay. So another way of saying is on expected goals, we would be winning by half a goal in theory over our last 5 matches.
Yep.
I still don't think we're good. Sorry.
Listen, if you're in the chat, if you're in the chat, let us know what your answer to this question is.
Yeah, I think we're getting better. Mm-hmm. I think that was one of our best performances. The thing that's I don't think we usually would concede 2 goals. Like I think those were kind of crazy goals to concede and not characteristic of what we've been conceding this year. So even if we won that, but then I say to myself, even if we won that game 2 or 3-0, yeah, I would still have to be saying El Paso hasn't been in very good form. Miami's the worst team in the league, and we barely scraped by them. Charleston, I don't know, feels.
So, I want to be very clear. So interesting, we played bad teams. In that 5 is Louisville and Charleston. Those 5 games that we were 3-1-1 in.
Yeah, I think
we held
it's
Louisville to 0.19 expected goals.
Never a doubt about the defense. Is the defense good? Absolutely. But as a team, yeah, like the quality not only of the teams we were beating, but the actual way we were winning. So like going back to the XG differential, like if we put up 0.6 compared to Indy 11's 0.1, and that's where the 0.5 differential is coming from, like that still doesn't make us good, in my humble opinion. But if you feel differently, like I'm all ears.
No, I am. I do not feel particularly different. So my full take. I actually don't know where I was going to go with this because I was slightly intrigued. I was like, the vibes still don't feel good, but we're picking up points at least at a bit at this point of the season. I think we've improved slightly. And again, I think the whole thing about expected goal differential, it doesn't mean the offense is fixed. It means that the offense might be a little bit better and the defense is still very good, which I think is more the case here. So again, the whole thing with comparing to last year is our expected goals against was not very good ever. We were always a team that kind of gave up a little bit more than we probably should. But our offense was really good. So again, it's all about the expected goals for minus expected goals against. I see the chat absolutely despise this section, and that's what I was going for here. But as Archie says in the chat here, Archie Dribble Trips, go subscribe to on YouTube if you don't. One more big home win, and then we're back. You know what? I'll take that, Archie. I do think though there's some progress here, and I think again if we can keep kind of some of the good bits that we've seen, especially against El Paso here, with the defense that is giving up next to very minimally most of the season. I think there is a concoction here that if we can keep building on it over these last 4 games, could make us difficult if we do get into the playoffs. Which I have to say if, because as Timmy will tell you, we no longer have a magic number here.
Yeah, I feel like we've said this before, but I think it was really funny timing for this performance because like all season we've been saying we'll get a result and we'll say but the performance wasn't good and we're like we really want to see better performances even if the result's there. Now we're finally at the time of the season when we're just saying just give us the results, don't care about the performances, and we finally have a good performance but don't get the result. It's just like the team has not failed to throw like a zag at us at every given opportunity. It's just very frustrating.
For sure. So I think just 2 really quick performances to call out. Did want to call out. So JJ Williams did win man of the match according to both Bot Mob and SofaScore. Thought he had a really great hold up play in this one. Also gets the goal and also had a great chance created for Noah. And then Noah, I thought was his best probably game of the season, especially that second half. Got the assist, almost had that goal. He did create 3 total chances. So very well done for both of them. I think we already shouted out Haraval as well. I do see some people in the chat asking for some playoff talk. So I'm going to go to the socials around this one and we can talk a little bit of aftermath here. And we will start on Twitter. So we got Tyler Hatch here. And if you don't follow Tyler, check him out on Twitter, especially. He posted a ton of great stats about this match, especially with his RIFC in 3. Clay's a midfielder. Couldn't agree more. Good goals and other promising actions from open play. Bad, unable to hold on to 2 separate leads. Ugly, back under the playoff line after the first hiccup. We got Terrace here, RIFC in 3, kissing your sister. Nicely done, Terrace. And then we have the ghost of FQB, Fluffy Cahog Boy here. RIFC in 3, play the counter. Is good. Let El Paso have the ball and played in transition. Better, more than 1 goal. Best, I saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. That's always good to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we'll go over to Facebook, which I always forget to check. We got Don Lindbergh. Wait till next year. Don, I don't know. I think we're good now. We got Marla Elizabeth, who went combo style. Okay, this is fun. Bad, unfortunate ricochet between O'Darcy and Holstad. Koke was out of position. That was a goal regardless of what happened. Just unfortunate was from us. I did see some chat. People were kind of pissed at Koke on the goal. Anything there from you?
No, because I think if it took one bounce, he was thinking it would take a bounce and get to him, and that would have been fine. And he does that 5 times a game.
Totally agree. Good, consistent forward attack. Nice shots on goal. Better, we didn't pass to the defense every other second. That's unreal. Thank you, Marla. So next up, we'll go over to Instagram here. I love it. Again, we talk about this every time. Terrace will get his like different ones in. It's always different. It's creative.
I can never even think of one. So shout out to Terrace for coming up with multiple.
You got own goal strikes again. And you put own goal as one word. So sneaky there, Terrace. I'm on to you. And then finally, we will finish up with the Defiance Discord here. And going multiple days after the match means there's a bunch of combo between. So please bear with me in here. So we had Terrace again. Good. We got a point. Bad, that own goal. Ugly, we scored 2. Not 1, but 2 goals. And we can't win. RIFC in 3. We didn't lose. We got Timmy's player ratings, so make sure you guys check those out. Timmy's good, 2 open play goals. Bad, losing a lead twice. Ugly, who said Clay can't score bangers at right wing back. In 3, please lose Indy, and they did not, which we will talk about. Matt Jean, RFC in 3, good road points. In 3, we scored twice. In 3, we scored 3. In 3, Owen now second. Yeah, that's tough. Leo O, good. Koke making every save he was capable of making. Better, finally putting the ball on the back of the net in the run of play more than once in a game. Best, Zach and Noah showing up again, sparking offense with some of the creativity we've desperately needed. Honore Ugly, backline blunders reappearing at the same time as our offense, for sure. RFC in 3, Memphis Locomotives version. I actually have a question on this. Honore Ugly, backline blunders reappearing the same time as the offense. Do you think there's any kind of correlation there of maybe us taking, as some people say, the handbrake off a little bit, which makes you a little bit less defensively stable?
Not at all.
Agreed.
Well, it's actually, I actually thought the way that they were getting at us with like the balls over the top, maybe I actually had something to do with that. But the actual goals that were like, but none of those ended up being a problem. I actually thought like our line was very tight. Like we caught them offsides a lot of times. But the actual goals we conceded had absolutely, I mean, those were like freak goals. Like one was just Frank straight up blowing it. And the other one, you could give Clay that clearance 100 times and that wouldn't happen for the next 99 of them. So no, I don't see that as part of the equation.
That's fair. So Andrew Quadros here has RIFC in 3, 4 loco goals. That's a good one. Good, entertaining match with improved attacking. Bad, missed opportunity to get 3 points. Ugly, that squiggly has midfield line job. I don't have a picture of this. I didn't notice this during the match, but Andrew Quadros called my attention to it. The midfield line was not like straight, which is really tough there. Play a picture, fish 6, making sure no one else. We got Mike Howard right, sneaking this one right over the finish line here. RIFC in 3, goal post challenge. So thank you again to anyone who chimed in. We always love hearing your takes after the game on social. Also love it when you join the chat live, which we have a great amount of people in here doing that. So like we said before this, so the chat is asking for kind of playoff prediction or playoff thoughts so far. So doing this on the fly here, just as so everyone's aware, looking at kind of the thick of it at the bottom of the East. So we have the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in 6th at 37 points, Detroit City FC in 7th at 32, Indy 11 FC at 32, Rhode Island FC at 31, and then Tampa at 27. So more or less, that's probably kind of who we're competing with. Timmy, can you give us a rundown quickly of the playoff kind of rules and then who we have potential tiebreakers over?
Yeah. So for
if you have a blog to shout out, feel free to do that.
We do have we have a playoff picture blog on tidetalkri.com, which has a few resources. It's got a magic number calculator, which Sean, thank you for calling it dumb. It is kind of dumb because to his point, it was
way more fun last year.
Well, even so it's tough because the way that the calculation works is it assumes that the way the number is calculated is assuming that everyone around you wins out. So it doesn't take into account head-to-heads between those teams. It doesn't take into account tiebreakers between those teams. And it doesn't take into account that a lot of those teams suck and aren't going to win out. But the point is, like, so us not having a magic number, that means if we win every game for the rest of the season, but Indy also does, we're not making the playoffs. So we don't have a magic number. It's not within our destiny. But so we do have a tiebreaker grid in there that helps you understand which team has the tiebreaker over each other within the Eastern Conference. The way the tiebreakers work is head-to-head record. So the 2 games that each Eastern Conference team plays against each other. If one team wins both of those, they have the tiebreaker. Next, it goes to goal differential. So in the example with Detroit City FC and us, we lost 2-0 at Detroit in a disastrous game where Frank got sent off in like the 15th minute or something. And then we beat them 1-0, but because the total goal differential between those 2 games, we're at a -1, Detroit City has the tiebreaker over us. The third tiebreaker, and that I wouldn't go this far, but this is relevant for us in Indy. The third tiebreaker, if your head-to-head record and head-to-head goal differential is the same, it goes to Eastern Conference or points per game within only the Eastern Conference. This one's kind of annoying because that number is not out there in a lot of tables. So we have that calculated as well in the blog. And Indy has a higher points per game in the Eastern Conference than us. So Indy also has the tiebreaker over us. So if we look at the 2 teams, we're in 9th place. If we look at the 2 teams, Detroit City and Indy 11, both 1 point ahead of us in 7th and 8th place. But really we need to we have to finish a point ahead of them because they both have the tiebreaker. So we need to get 2 more points from our final 4 games than one of Detroit or Indy 11 is essentially the task. And quite honestly, I'm getting ahead of ourselves. I don't feel good about it at all.
Perfect. Thank you for filibustering long enough for me to be able to do this. So I'm going to share everybody's next what they got left. All right, so this looks like shit. I'm sorry. So on the leftmost screen here, you have Detroit's schedule. So Detroit over the past 3, they've lost 4-0 to Mexico United, New Mexico United. They lost 1-0 to Lexington and then 1-0 to Louisville. They have the last final 4 games are North Carolina, Loudoun, Charleston, and Tampa. And that would be home to North Carolina and Loudoun, road to Charleston and Tampa. Rhode Island FC have home to Las Vegas Lights and Tampa Bay Rowdies, and they're on the road to North Carolina FC and New Mexico to close it out. And then we have Indy, who they are away to Louisville. Did I get this right? Yeah, they're away to Riverhounds. Yep. They are home to Indy, and they are away to Orange County. So as a reminder, Indy and Detroit are 1 point ahead of us here. What do you got?
So they're 1 point ahead of us, but we need to finish a point ahead of them. So we have to get 2 more points than one of these 2 teams in the run-in in the last 4 games. So I guess I start at how many points do you think we're going to get in our last 4 games? Because I'm gonna back into why I'm deeply concerned. Yeah, thank you, Sean. 1 more point, meaning we need 2 points. We need to get 2 points from where we are now to get ahead of them. Good point. But so yeah, how many points do you think we're going to get in our last 4 games?
7.
You're more optimistic than me.
I usually am.
Yeah. Well, usually you are by Friday, but this is Monday. I think. So I had us at 5. I think we'll win 1 and draw 2, and then I think we'll probably lose to New Mexico.
Okay.
But so if we get 5 points, that means one of those 2 teams needs to get only 3 from their final stretch, and I feel like both of those teams are volatile enough that they will get more than 3 points.
All right, so looking at Detroit. So again, Detroit has their home to North Carolina and Loudoun, and they're away to Charleston and Tampa. What do you got for them?
So I think they will.
I would say looking at Detroit's results, they really are all over the place.
Yeah.
They'll beat Orange County 4-1, and then they'll lose to New Mexico 4-0.
Yeah. So I'm saying those 2 home games, I think they're going to get 4 points out of that. I don't know which, but I think they're going to win 1 and draw 1.
which is funny because they literally just lost 2 in a row at home.
Yeah, but to Louisville and I think Lexington's
Lexington is good,
found
yeah.
quite a bit of form now.
Okay.
So I don't know. So if they get 4 points out of that, I think they'll lose. I think they'll for sure lose at Charleston, and then I think that they'll win at Tampa to close the season. So that would give them 7 points. That's not good for us. I don't think we can have. If Detroit gets 7 points, we're cooked.
Yeah, and the other thing that Kevin calls out in the chat that it's going to be interesting here is that some of these teams might be rotating heavily towards the end of the season. I think Indy is going to get Louisville when they're still pushing for the Players' Shield, but by that point, Charleston could just be chilling in second place in this Detroit match. So that also does not bode well for us.
Yeah, good point. Actually, I think Charleston mathematically almost surely will have that second seed locked by that time. I think by the next game, I think they'll have that locked up. So that's a fair point. That would not help us at all. And then Indy.
Yeah, so again, Indy has they're on the road to Louisville, they're on the road to Pittsburgh, they host Loudoun, and then they are on the road to Orange County.
So no way they beat Louisville, but
I can't wait to clip that.
I mean, that would be very upsetting. But I think they could get a result. Let me say this: between the 2 away games, I think they'll at least get a point. More likely at Pittsburgh, and then I'm nervous about them winning both of their last 2 games and just an absolute dagger in our hearts.
Oof.
But so again, that would put them on 7 points. If both of those teams get 7 points, I think we're done.
I mean, quite literally, because I do think we're going to get 7. You thought I was crazy optimistic there. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to definitely come down to the wire here. So, chat, what do you think? We getting 7th? We getting 8th? We not making it? What do you think? So, what's your final prediction?
To put it on the record, and it pains me to say, I think we're going to finish 9th. As of today, at this moment, I feel like we're going to finish 9th, and it sucks.
I have us in 8th. I would say Indy Indy coming back and beating Tulsa and Birmingham was brutal because they were losing to Birmingham, and then Tulsa's, as we saw, a pretty damn good team, and to win that one was a pretty big dagger here. So, but I do think we're going to sneak in ahead of them. I could see a world where we're all tied / it's all going to come down to a point here or there.
I completely agree, and this will be the second year in a row that we don't have any of the meaningful tiebreakers. We have tiebreakers, we have them over
Birmingham.
Yeah, we have them over teams that don't matter. We almost definitely have it over Tampa, which could come into play, but it's unlikely.
We need to keep that one. I would say this homestand is probably going to make or break our season. No, not probably. It's going to make or break our season.
Anyone who is calling us to win both of those games is not only much more optimistic than me, but I'd like to know what team you've been watching at home all season that makes you feel like we will win both of those games. How many dog shit teams have we hosted and lost or tied with no goals at Tidewater this season? Rhetorical question, but it's a lot.
You're not wrong, and you are talking me off the hopium that I continue just to drink every single week, or whatever you do with hopium. Yeah, I mean, listen, I believe, for whatever reason, for better or worse, I think they can get two results off there. I don't know that they're going to be pretty matches. I don't know. This whole stretch could be just diabolical to watch, and probably not good for any of our health. But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, right? It starts Sunday. Sunday is the biggest match of the year until the following Saturday, and at the end of the day, they have to win. They have to pick up these points.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope they do.
So Sean has an interesting point here, right? So we're dooming you're dooming pretty hard, and rightly so, right? Like this team has not done a lot to give us any sort of hope here. I for some reason just keep coming back to the well every week, believing. But to Sean's point, like it's not like these teams actually, well, yeah, Detroit was on a nice little run here for a bit, but like it's not like these teams are the most consistent, right? Like we're all fighting for the last 2 places of the playoffs. It's not like these are like the elite point getting teams of the league here. So this really all could get very messy and be very volatile every week. And what a great time to have a podcast about a soccer team.
Yeah. I want to maintain. So again, my official prediction at this time is we won't make the playoffs. FQB just said it. And I thought he stole this take from me, but it turns out I do think he said it first. I still think if we sneak in 8 or 7 seed, I'm calling it like a 50-50 chance that we knock out Louisville or Charleston in the first round, which
this is why I
realized. Yeah, but
listen, I can make the argument you're going to make too, though.
Yeah, we play those teams tough, and our defense is stingy enough. We can keep any game 0-0, and then something crazy. We get a penalty kick to beat a shit Miami team or whatever it is, but like it's not impossible. So again, I don't think we'll make the playoffs, but
but if we did, we could take out.
If we win, I kind of back. If we do, I back us to kind of win the first round at least. But not like in a sustainable way. Like then I think we could lose to a bad team in the second round. I'm getting way ahead of myself.
You're both like we're not in the playoffs, but then we also could end up making a pretty decent run into the playoffs.
The way this team, anything could happen.
It's true, and I have to give Kevin credit. He did say this to my face a couple weeks ago, and I asked him how many boom sauces he had, and it was 0 that day. So he was dead serious on that one. We also have Sean. He's going to post a real playoff picture analysis in the Discord after, which is very funny. I might give him a login to the Tide Talk site. Just post it, put right in front of Timmy's. Right in front of Timmy's. But yeah, so. Oh, this is really good. Yeah. So that guy hit you so hard at the concert, you changed forever. All right. So I guess your official prediction is we don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, right now it is. Right now I don't feel good about it at all.
All right. And mine is we get the 8th seed. So in the chat, we got a couple people are on the same page as you. We got Matt Hands. I think that was 7 points, not 7th place. I think Matt Jean has been very consistent. We're getting into the 6th place, which I don't know how that's going to happen at this point. But the River Hounds would have to just implode, which I don't know. We'll see about that. But I don't know, Timmy, any final thoughts on either the playoff race, what we're going to see coming up, or the El Paso match?
I don't know if I'm ready. I just think it's going to be a nervy Sunday at Tidewater, because like it's not fun playing a terrible team that you're expected to beat. Like it's just not enjoyable, because you either win and you did only what you should have, and it's like great pat on the back. You are an expensive, high quality USL team. You should be beating Las Vegas, or we don't win and it's an absolute disaster and everyone's miserable. And the Sunday scaries are amplified to 300 because it's a Sunday afternoon game. I'm excited.
Very hard right now.
I'm not. I think we could win. I think we could win that game. I think we should win that game. But I'm tired, boss. It's been a long season.
Really?
I'm scared. I just want us to be good. I think if we play at all like we did against El Paso, we will comfortably beat Las Vegas. I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think one thing to make sure on this one, I do think this was one of our best performances of the season. Obviously, not getting the 3 points is a pretty big. It's tough at this point in the season, and we've talked a lot about performance versus results, and right now results are what matters. But I would say this performance really did make me feel a bit better. Obviously, some people would in the chat say way too much better, but yeah, listen. Yeah, at this point, it's any means necessary, and it is, points accumulation is all that's going to matter. So buckle up, folks, as Timmy has brought you through and myself, I brought you through the grinder there of this last final four matches. Like this October is going to be spooky season, both on and off the pitch. So yeah, be ready for it. But yeah, that'll wrap things up for this one. Just a reminder that Tide Talk is more than just a podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for daily social media content. Also, I have to shout out the blog at tidetalkri.com, where you can find player ratings, pre- and post-match analysis, and our take on the latest RIFC news, as well as resources like RIFC 101 if you have some friends who are checking it out for the first time, or the playoff whatever we call it, thing that Timmy writes that he updates every week, which is awesome. Shows you where we stand in the playoff race, the playoff picture there. I've been your host, Ryan, and a big thank you to Timmy for joining me tonight. And most importantly, thank you to everyone who joined in the live chat and anyone who supports the work that we do. We'll see you next time. And as always, up the tide.
Up the tide.